We're going to create our first web page and have a quick introduction of some CSS as well as the HTML. So what we're trying to create, I've just created this example web page before, very simple, just your first web page with some text, a table here, and some styling on it as well, with the black background and the larger font. So here is this page that we're editing here. What I've already added to get started is the basics of what you want to start off every single web page, every single HTML page that you ever do. So you want to have the doc type here. This tells the web browser that it is an HTML page that it should be creating and displaying. Strictly speaking, this isn't really needed with modern web browsers, but it is important for keeping with tradition for backwards compatibility and just making sure that the web browser does know exactly what it's doing. From there, you have your two HTML tags, the opening and closing tags, though everything in between them is going to be your actual HTML page. And from there, you've got your head and your body. Now, your body is where you have most of your content. The head is where you have different things, whether it's the title of the page, or you have some styling, as we'll see in a bit here, or it's JavaScript, as you'll learn more about later on. So the first thing we're going to do, you'll see here that right now Chrome is just displaying my first web page, the HTML, which is the name of the file right here. Whereas this one says my first web page, even though the name of the file is chapter 2 video. So what we want to do is add a title tag. So we want to have the opening and closing tag, and in between there just put my first web page, save that, and we see that the title changed. So that's all we need to do. Now Chrome knows, or any web browser knows, that the title is my first web page, and that's what it will display. For our body, what we want to add in is we're going to add in first a div tag, and a div or divider is what allows you to group similar content together. Because this is a simple web page, all we're going to have is one div. Inside this div, I'm going to put in this p tag, so this is a paragraph. This is just same text that we see over here. Now that I have this, I'm just going to save the page and refresh, and we see our text showed up. Next, I'm going to be adding in the table. So I'm just going to add my table tags here, opening and closing. Next, I need to add in a table row. So again, opening and closing. And now I'm just going to add your regular table cell, which is TD. So everything that we have in here, my table cell, and I'm going to copy that, and now we have another table cell. And refresh, and there we have our table. But it doesn't quite look the same because, first of all, it's only one row. Second of all, is there's no border. So to add a border, you add what we call an attribute to this table tag. You just say border is equal to 1, and that means border is equal to true. And that will give you your border around it. To add another row, you just simply repeat all the same code here. So we can easily just copy it and paste it. And you'll notice that I'm tabbing everything here. It isn't necessary for the web browser to understand what the page is supposed to look at, but it does allow for people to, whether it's you or it's others, to more easily understand your code. So I've added a second row, and there we go. The next thing I want to do is I want to see we've got a little bit more space here. If I want to add in some space, easy way to do that is just to add a line break. And that's just a BR tag. And that will add more space right there. Now, if I want to do some more advanced styling, we need to start using cascading style sheets, or CSS. And that looks different than HTML, but it describes the style of how the web browser should display your web page. So in order to add that, we want to add a style tag, opening and closing, and just write the type, which is text/CSS. And the way that CSS works is we pick our tag. So the first item we want to style would be the body. So I just write in here body, I have opening, closing, curly parentheses. And next I want to set the background color to be black. So in hexadecimal, that is 000000. If I refresh the page, everything's black now. It's not quite what I want compared to the other web page there. So what I will do is add some styling on my div, or divider. And here I'm just going to put that I want the background color to be white. And I also want to add some padding. So we'll see what first, actually. Without padding, so here's a web page, and you can probably see why I want to add padding. I want to add 10 pixels of padding. So if we take a look here, that just adds us 10 pixels of space around the div itself. Finally, if I want to say I want all of the paragraph tags inside the divs, I'm going to put div, then p, and next my style. And here I just want my font size to be 14 pixels. Or sorry, not 14 pixels, 14 points. 14-point font, and there we go. So we've created a web page where we have a table, it's got a border, and we've used some basic CSS in order to add some formatting. So we can see that the div is all white, that matches all of my code here. Everything else, all the black, that's what the web browser views as the body itself. And there you go. Good luck.